Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at something that's got a lot of restaurant operators feeling pretty on edge, right? The whole tariff situation.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that too. There's a lot of uncertainty in the air, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty striking, actually. Just in the past month, a number of restaurant folks who are saying they're worried about, potential financial hits because of tariffs. That number has jumped to 45%. Like, that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, 45%. Yeah, that's a pretty clear indicator that, things are feeling pretty shaky out there.
Yeah, and the thing is, it could be massive, right? The National Restaurant Association, they're estimating that these tariffs could end up costing U.S. restaurants something like over $12 billion.
$12 billion. That's, you can see why they're feeling on edge.
Yeah, so we're going to use this deep dive to kind of unpack what's really behind all this anxiety and what the impact could be, down the line. We've got some really good info to dig into. Modern Restaurant Management did this interview with Phil Kafarakis. He's the CEO of IFM. And WKRN News 2, they did some reporting on how restaurant owners are feeling about all this, especially when it comes to wine tariffs.
Wine tariffs. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover. There was also, we saw a mention of grapes and sand somewhere, but we're really going to be zeroing in on these other two sources, to understand what the tariffs could mean. I think for our listeners, the big thing is to get a handle on what this might mean for restaurants, but also for, their experience when they go out to eat and what it does to their wallets.
Absolutely. I think a lot of folks maybe don't realize how much these global trade things can really hit close to home.
Right.
It might seem far away, but it ends up affecting the prices we see, the choices we have, the whole dining experience.
For sure. Okay, so let's start by looking at, which specific foods might be kind of on the front lines of these tariff problems. Phil Kafarakis, the guy from IFA, he pointed out that even before we got to this whole tariff thing, there were already some issues brewing with some pretty basic stuff we all use, like coffee and chocolate. Apparently, the weather's been messing with crops, and that's been pushing prices up.
Makes sense. It's not like restaurants are starting from a calm, steady place, right? There are already so many factors pushing and pulling on prices, and now you add tariffs on top of that, it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Totally. He also mentioned this. He called it chicken and egg problems, and what he meant was like this domino effect, right? Back in 2022, there was all that extreme weather hitting infrastructure, and then right before Christmas last year, it was the avian flu, and that really whacked egg production. It feels like the whole system of getting food from the source to our plates, the whole supply chain, it's been under a lot of stress for a while.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, after all that, the industry is probably on high alert, super sensitive to any new shocks, right? They've already had to deal with shortages, price swings, you name it.